idea for a new shop started when we visited the property my daughter and son-in-law were buying, and right next door was the last lot not yet purchased, the little creek along the bottom. Here's the lot that my daughter and son-in-law bought and were showing us, and this was the lot that was right next to that with the creek running along through here. Room for a pole barn where my shop could go, plus stickered wood and my old sailboat, my first home built sailboat, which are currently in my dad's barn, and gardening area for Deb. We decided to buy and set about then doing our own little surveying and establishing the 50-foot setback lines with stakes, and then playing around with different options for positioning the house and the barn and the sizes for that, and then could figure out what the driveway needed to do from there. I'd really wanted to frame the barn myself, but thought about friends up in the air, 12 feet, wrestling trusses around, and talked to some people who knew of a great company, Amish guys, Graber. And so started talking with them, and if I wanted to have a loft over at least a shop area so I could hang tools up in the ceiling and have better use of that space high up, I kicked the pitch up to 612, did some calculations, and with some what turned out to be scissors trusses over that last 16 feet where the loft would be, have usable space up there, and then had to take it down to avoid the expensive drawings to this 7-foot porch and 26 by 40, and that's where we ended up. We went to Graber and we sat down and worked through the various details, and this was their drawing, which ends up looking very much like it turned out. One of the attractions of the whole adventure for Deb and I was to learn some new things, which we did, along with some new challenges, like how to get our driveways done without the big gravel trucks getting stuck and us having to pay. Second load going on Beth and Johnny's driveway. Doesn't get stuck in that soft spot up ahead, up there. Well, looks like we made it through the first soft spot. Now it's a soft spot no more. Nice. Alright, get some moving on. Hey you. I got some rope. We'll go back there and get the culvert and bring them up and then try to plot this thing out. Well, with a little luck, that'll be a house. And that over there will be a pole barn, aka shop. It ain't pretty. I think we're in the good enough zone. So they've rough staked it now, as they say. And we got to figure out if the remainder of this driveway line is correct and get twos back in here.
Might be poison ivy vines.
It's the same.
Put this down next.
It'll be the porch running along here, partially enclosed at that end for the shop. And I'm proud to report that their construction drive successfully held up. That's pretty good. Now, if we work to these rocks. The idea is to get another foot elevation on that pad, which is to cut some channels and try to drain the puddle. Let's see what Deb's got over here.
Come and see my new river, the Zambezi River.
Oh, it's nice flow there.
It's flowing swiftly.
Yep.
Now Doug's trying to redistribute some of this gravel.
Got enough twos down here for the truck to bring more twos. Got them and some other spread in order for him to successfully get back here and not get stuck.
All right, we put it where we bought any right there, kind of stick back on that.
Yep. Got to start at our grading, curving the drainage. There we go. Beautifully done. And this transition that I've been fretting about, I think it's going to work. The garage floor will be about 2 feet off that grass. And a reasonable start at how we want the contours to be. Pretty happy with it. Today is going to be the dig day for the house. And after starting this whole process, almost a year ago, and deciding to build a house and a barn, starting those projects completely independently, it looks like both projects are going to start, unfortunately, the same week. And we just became the owner of a little subcompact tractor. Maybe bringing that over here today. There we go. Are they picking up the dirt? Beautiful sunrise for the start of the barn. Here comes the wood for the barn. Auger's making short work of the holes. Here comes concrete for the footers. Hose going in. No way. We could have planned this. As they're setting the corners. Barn. First showed up. Set the corners on the house. Okay, things are getting serious with the new shop. The Polebarn is completing today, kind of coming out according to our hopes for it, and went out there and took some detailed measurements of how this loft thing I think will work out. I want to keep the loft floor as low as possible, so we'll have 7-foot headroom to the bottom of the floor joist for the loft to maximize usable space above it. And when I looked at the building, I realized there's substantial space out in the porch area as well. And we got our footer areas for the 3 posts. There's one footer. Champagne. Concrete's beautiful.
I like how it's kind of shiny inside.
Coming along. The barn is as beautiful and clean as it's gonna get. They came in and did the cuts, and now it's on to my vacation to do some framing in here and put in the loft floor. And I got a little bit of time while this is still green. I'm gonna try to locate and do the drilling for the anchor for the 3 posts that hold up the loft floor. This is as neat and clean as the barn's probably ever going to be. I'm going to see if I can get away with drilling the holes for the anchor bolts without an impact drill. I would call that success. Today and next week off. Barn is up, and the wood package for the loft should be getting delivered this morning. So take a break from software business and have some recreational framing out there. I've done what I could to get ready apart from the lumber, and I believe that's it. Perfect timing. No, that wasn't my load of wood. That was the third load for the house. And here comes the framers, I think. All this continuing to fall at the same time. There's the lumber. And simultaneous with the framers. Not on first, so I don't snag the threads. Rescue as usual, just in time. That way. Up high. Passes the straight face test.
Here we go, the initial first man in the loft. And he's upright.
So what I've been wanting to see is what it's going to be like to hang out in front of this little window here in the gable. The window seat height. Perfect. There it is. A little bit wobbly without the bridging. But that's a lot of storage back there. Whether this looks straight along here. Yeah, it definitely is in the good enough zone, I think. All right, day 2 on the loft. Got in and cut up the bridging and laid that in. Now I'm faced with plywood hauling solo. So I think what I'm going to do is get the tractor in here for the first time. Use the front loader. Stack a few sheets at a time onto it. Was worried about the bow. It moved just a little bit.
Good morning, Jim. Speak to the camera.
Oh, hi.
Useful space back there for sure. Yesterday, finished up making a ladder. Temporary, I suppose, but fine by me for the duration. We'll see. Put up a railing. It was all lumber that came from the leftover from the build. I want to build a rolling workbench for my son Michael and his wife Taryn's house as they were remodeling their kitchen. I've used that little rolling guy so much. If they were exactly the same height, it would be convenient to be able to use them together. So we'll target 34 3/4. Was happy with the way that guy's built. The 2 rear casters do not turn, the 2 front do and lock. Why not? Oh, I like that. Last morning of my week of vacation working in here. Yesterday designed and built this wood storage facility. Pretty happy with it. And today the goal is to build horizontal shelving. Very fun to have been able to be here this week. The framers are moving forward on the house. I'm gonna plan this look out onto this common area faced by the porch. So far, I haven't been injured. My goal is to have free passage for parking, boats or something underneath here, so we'll see. Well, very happy with this. Went and kind of cleared up all of the wood that had come out of the shop and the attic. Satisfactorily stored here and was feeling great. Used the front loader to load all the scrap into to run out to the dumpster. And the door was not all the way up. And the roll bar was up. So that kind of ended my whole week on a less than victorious note. See if we can't get this door functional in the meantime. Well, with some persuasion, a little bit of angle grinder snippage, the door can be raised, lowered, and locked. Heading on over to pick up my old boat Cosmo. My dad and Rosemary have kindly let me store it in their barn. They need me to clear that space, and I knew this was coming. And just in time, I think, are ready to move the boat out there. First time this has been hitched to this car. On the road again. If I'm not mistaken, first time all three of my boats have been in the same general vicinity. Family size, empty nester size, teach the grandkids to sail size. That should make it on out to our new place. Bit of a milestone. First boat on the driveway to the new place. What is this going to leave us with? And to accommodate the stickered oak, especially that was in my dad's barn, I realized I need to build this ultimately firewood storage shed and put some of the oak there. Got my little homemade tractor trailer. That was fun. Jim and JT helping. And then got a good bit of that oak underneath there, ultimately tarped, and the rest of it had to be accommodated in the shop. Some of it up on the loft too, and those wood racks filled. So successfully cleared Dad's barn, and we have since sold a good bit of that oak and looking forward to using the rest. With the house under roof and Tyvek, we were settling down for what we hoped was not a super long wait, and turned out to be nearly 6 months before things really resumed and we actually had electric in the house to tie into the shop. Started in with my buddy Scott Boone's help to draw up a plan, planning the route for the conduit to connect from the house to the panel I put in, and started adding the rough electric. Got the trench dug, but the very next day it rained and the building inspector was merciful and passed the trench and conduit, but I enjoyed learning more about electric on this project. On our multi-year new build project, there is electric available to the house, and so for the first time we'll get a chance here.
Should we open up?
Okay, swung the main on.
Hello.
All right, go ahead.
It's flipped.
And it didn't pop off, that's good. Let me try lights.
Okay, I'm coming over.
There's one. That's cool. Oh, and the loft lights. Yes. Yeah, we got light.
Look at that.
First use of the shop outlets. Nice. I framed in a place for the long 16-foot bench. Did some basic organization, added a few shelves, and prepared for actually breaking down the old shop.
Okay. Pretty close.
How's that now? It is close. Seems workable. A few odds and ends that have to get relocated, but functional.